Good morning everyone. Welcome to the session on how to approach CA exams. As the exams are nearing, everyone has this fear of how they are going to prepare and clear CA exams. So here we have few experienced persons who are going to guide us on this. I would like to request CA B.K. Shetty sir to escort our speaker, CA Vijay Raja, onto the dais and welcome him with a floral bouquet. I would like to call upon B.K. Shetty sir to welcome the gathering.
Happy morning. It is my privilege to welcome guests on the dais and you all to this today's how to face CA exam, how to prepare and how to write CA exam. We conducted similar program beginning of this month on 14th. The response was very good. We are recording this program and broadcasting it, and already more than 3,000 students viewed this program. That is the reason we are repeating this with other faculties also in the afternoon. So, friends, today we are fortunate to have your loving, ever-loving Guru, Vijay Raja is with us. With his busy schedule, he has taken time for us. With our invite, he accepted and he is here. He is sharing his precious time with all of us. Please welcome him with a round of applause. In the second technical session, we are going to have our Central Council member, Madhukar Hiragange. He is the right person for all your doubt clearance. He is in the ICI Central Council as a chairman of Indirect Tax Committee, as a member of Board of Studies and part of examination committee also. He is able to answer all your queries, and that is the reason we invited him. He accepted our invitation even though he is very busy with the Indirect Tax Committee's programs. So we are lucky in that matter. He is going to come and he is going to share his knowledge and experience with all of us. Then in the afternoon, we are going to have CA Vikas Oswal. He is going to enlighten us with how to approach auditing paper, and after that CA Chandrasekhar Shetty is going to share his knowledge about accounts, how to face that, how to write and pass accounting paper. And after that Dr. V. Rajesh is going to come. He is going to take care of SFM and FM. So please welcome all those faculties with a round of applause. So friends, I take this opportunity to share a few initiatives of SICASA, as I am the SICASA chairman of Bangalore branch for the year 17-18. So on 2nd of April, Sunday morning, we are going to have a full day's crash course on costing. So our leading faculty from Chennai, CA Venkat Shivkumar is going to come. He is going to come in the morning and start the program at 10 till late in the evening, maybe 7:30. It is mainly for IPCC students. I request all the IPCC students to attend that program. It is a nominal registration fee of just 50 rupees for that, just to keep track of the number of registration and make necessary arrangements. We kept that as a nominal fees. Otherwise, it is as good as a free. So program, I request all of you who are facing IPCC exam, or you spread this news to your friends to register that and make use of that costing crash course. And on 15th of April, we are conducting a half a day seminar for statutory audit, particularly for work related seminar. So how to make audit program, audit documentation and audit reporting. All these things we are going to, the faculty is going to explain to you all. Plus, in that seminar, we are planning to introduce a student speaker for half an hour. Anybody of you are interested to present a paper on auditing, to please take that opportunity. We are just collecting the video clippings of all the speakers who wanted to present papers. So on 15th April, that opportunity is there for one of the students. Then in addition to that, last time I mentioned, so CICASA Bangalore started a unique program for CA students. It is to develop their oral communication and leadership skill. Oral communication and leadership development skill development program. It is happening every Sunday morning 8 to 10. 8 to 10 sometimes because of number of students or more, it will extend to up to 10:30, 11. It starts sharp 8 o'clock. Every Sunday morning in our Racecourse Road premises. Racecourse Road, we have a ICI Bhavan is there. There in the first floor, we are conducting that program. Those who are serious about that, those who want to develop their communication, oral communication skill and leadership skill can take part in that program. It is a continuous program. Every Sunday it happens. There is no holiday. There will not be any holiday or break for that program. It's a continuous program. Those who are serious, those who have that burning desire to develop their skill can contact either the CICASA representative Swati, or it is there available in our Facebook also. You can register yourself for that program. Then finally, let me share my experience as a CA student. So my experience is very old and long back. 25 years ago I qualified as a CA. Maybe it is not much of relevant as a CA examination technique and other things. The scope has increased manifold. Still I believe that I had three things in my at the time of that exam, even today. So that is eternal, I believe. So if you have that, then it helps. Let me share that. The first one is faith on superpower, Almighty. And second is confidence on me. That is the I can do it approach, the attitude of I can do it. The third and the last is hard work. Hard work is, I heard last time the leading gurus are telling 12 to 14 hours of studies is required to pass the exam, because the expected knowledge is expert knowledge in CA exam. That is the reason I believe you need to spend 12 to 14 hours. That is the hard work. And the smart work is, you need to follow the smart work. Those who already experienced, they share their knowledge, listen to them, make use of that, implement it in your studies, so that hard and smart work is the last one which will help you to pass your CA exam. So with that, let me conclude my speech for this today's session. I wish you all the best. May Almighty bless you all to pass in upcoming CA exam in flying colors. Wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful speech and for the inspiring words. It's my proud privilege to introduce my teacher, CA Vijay Raja sir, to the gathering. For all of us who think clearing CA exam is a challenge, CA Vijay Raja sir is a big inspiration. He is a BCom graduate who has secured 28th rank, a cost accountant graduate who has secured 3rd rank, LLB graduate who has secured 1st rank. He has completed his chartered accountancy course with a gold medal and also a complete secretary. He is a practicing chartered accountant at Gurujana & Co. He has specialized knowledge on e-filing, corporate laws and income tax, and he is also a visiting faculty at various coaching centers in Bangalore. I now request CA Vijay Raja to share his inspiring words.
Let us start with happy morning. Happy morning to all of you. I will try one more time. Happy morning.
Happy morning.
The Josh is required to be happy all the time. Let's start with that only. Let me start with my gratitude to CA Institute for this opportunity to share and ensure we can make a difference to all of you. Of course, I've been getting a huge amount of reviews from many of them. because of the last session what we had. I was sharing it, saying that after we had the last session, I got a lot of them telling that it was very useful, it made a lot of difference. In fact, I got people from engineering, MBBS, 10th standard, all of them, all different people saying that, because how does it matter whether it's a CA examination or regular examination? The examination is still an examination. So preparation, one is the technical part of it, another part is the mental part of it. And they said that it was still useful. So it may not belong to CA, they said it was still very useful, and more than 3,000 people have already been hooked on to, and it's a great initiative by CA Institute, I think, to ensure that there is a webcast that also happens. That way we can ensure that many of them get the benefit of learning certain things. That's very nice. First of all, congratulations to all of you for having taken the right step. And what is that right step? What is the right step? Choosing CA? What is the right step? For coming today's session. That's the right steps, right? Wherein you have decided the fact that you want to know something. There is always something to learn from everybody. So there's always something we can learn from everybody. So it's good that you all are here. At least you have that attitude saying that I want to learn something more. From everybody we can learn. From anything we can learn. And it's a learning is a journey. And it goes on forever and ever. I'm so happy that all of you are here. That you've got an inclination that you want to learn. That's fabulous. So one round of applause to you all. I will start off with a few things to tell you. How many of you are actually, how many of you are going to write your exams now in May? Oh, many of you, okay, fine. How many of you have already written the exams before? That means you have tried once before, okay, good. Now, there is something I would like to always say. There was a comedy scene in one of the movies. In that movie, that scene is there wherein one boss and one assistant, they both are talking. The boss is telling assistant, saying that, hey, you are 8th standard, don't talk too much. I am 10th, I can talk better than you. Assistant tells him, but no boss, you are not understanding something. I am 8th standard pass, you are 10th standard fail. So he tells him saying that if you compare and see, pass or fail, yav dodo, which is bigger, right? So he's telling him saying the pass is bigger or fail is bigger. So he just tells him, you just tell so much, pass is bigger or fail is bigger. That fellow says, pass is bigger, that means I am greater than you come this side. So he says, no, but I am 10th, no, but I pass, you fail. So your resume and biodata will read 10th fail. My biodata will read 8th pass. So that was his concept. Now this is something that we need to understand. It's only in my country. You are youngsters, you probably have not had the options or rather the knowledge of visiting other countries yet. I'm sure in future you'll all be there everywhere. But if you visit, I had the grace of visiting all these places, and most of these countries where I visited I've seen, especially if you take US, we always take an example of US. Failing is not a crime. There's nothing to be ashamed of that we fail. The highest number of entrepreneurs are born in US. And if you see the global brands, all the global brands actually gems from US. For all you know, some of our fellows only may be there. But the fact is they all are emerging from there. Why? What is the difference? They don't hesitate to try out until they succeed. And they don't mind if they pass or if they fail. They'll say, I'll keep trying. If not once, next it will click. And I am confident about it and I'll do it. And therefore they're not worried about failure. It's only in our country that fail is a big concept. Saying that, oh you failed. And you also start feeling so bugged about it, saying that I failed. I don't think you should be really worried about it. I have a good friend of mine who always boasts about it. Whenever I and he speak. Because I'm first attempt, obviously, other interacts and all, they're not an issue like that. So being in the first attempt part. And whereas my friend is there, he is to the power n number of attempts. So when he talks, when he always tells me, he tells, you see, Vijay Rajaraman, he passed in first attempt, so his knowledge will be very less. Because he had very only once. Whereas I have read it many times, so I have better knowledge than what he has. So that's how he always tells. So he still has, he feels proud about himself, saying that, what, so what if I've read so many times, but I'm happy that my knowledge is better than yours. You read only once. After you didn't read once. See how many times I've read. Different books. If this will not work, that will work. If that does not work, this will work. I have tried it. All you read like that, no, waste you are. So he tells me, saying that, I think that's a confidence you need to have about yourself, saying that there is something positive in whatever we do. So you pick up the positive for this. So don't be really feeling sad about it, saying, if I ask you how many of you already wrote, no, better than you, types, right? It's okay, it doesn't matter. Don't feel bad that, pass and fail. I understand, we always want to pass, no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it that we love to pass. But there's nothing to feel bad about it. You compare with millions of them. I'm sure if they actually take the statistics, they can tell you through the statistics how many of them paid exam fees. Okay? And still, they did not come to exam hall. Take all India statistics. How many paid exam fees and still did not come to exam hall? How many of them did not even pay exam fees? Say that not this time, next time we will try. Not this time. How many of them looked at CA board and said, I think it's not for me, and they didn't even think of trying CA. So you compare with all of them, you are far ahead of all of them. Because compared to so many of them who did not even try, you have at least come and tried first. Then so many of them who did not even pay the exam fees, you paid the exam fees. Compared to so many of them who did not walk into the exam hall, you walked into the exam hall. Compared to so many of them who walked out in half an hour. They saw the question paper and said, oh, I thought some other subject today. And they walked out of the exam hall. I still remember CA final. Now the format is different. Okay, before it used to be the CA final corporate law paper. We had one topic called the interpretation of statutes, and even now we have it. But now it comes only as a one question for 4 marks. But before it was nothing like one question and all that. They can ask from anywhere, any place. So I remember the students sat there. One fellow took the question paper, and first of all, in the question paper, he's already confused because whether he's sitting in the right hall. Because you have to go to some college. He went to some college in the sense that as per where they are supposed to go. And there they put 2-3 boards saying that if you see exam, take left. If you see a AB exam, take this one banking exam called CIAB exam, so you take right. He was not sure whether he took left or right, because one was CA, one was CIAB, and both looked similar. And where he went, he doesn't know. He sat, then he was thinking, I hope I'm sitting in the right place for the exam. And to add on to his confusion, when question paper came, there was no heading telling Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Question paper does not have that heading. It says that it's from CA Institute. Then he said, now I don't know whether this is our paper or not. And to make matters worse, subject name also is not there. Some cat, rat, bat, and all was written there. He was still wondering, no, I don't even know which subject this is. And those who know, you all know how the question paper looks. First starting till the end, around 90% of the paper, nothing is there. In the sense, only instructions about the paper. You have to answer first question compulsory. Then you have a choice. All that only is written there, and ultimately at the end, actual question starts. So last 2-3 lines only is the actual question starts in the first page. So he was already confused whether he's come to the right place, right exam center. Then he took the paper. It was actually a law paper, so he took it. He saw first question. Expressio unius est exclusio alterius. I was like, what I was thinking and what is there here seems to be very different. Then I don't know what this is. Anyway, let's go to try the next. Contemporaneous expositio nociter associ. Excuse me, can you give me English paper, please? What paper you are giving me here? Actually, the questions from interpretation of statutes, wherein we have those primary rules of interpretation and secondary rules of interpretation, which talks about this. And unfortunately, there they are asked to write short notes on these one or two, and he was like, I think it's not even English. They changed the way in which it has to be written also. The first thing you need to understand is you need to have confidence on yourself. So when you walk in itself, otherwise everything seems to be confusion. Right from beginning you have a confusion. Now you don't know whether this paper is the right paper or not. If this is not the mindset at which we should sit and write the examination. That's not the way we write the examination. The confidence you need to have. You know what is the fear we have? The biggest fear we have is not that we will pass fail. The biggest fear we have is the shame. We feel embarrassed, we feel ashamed to tell anybody, saying, I wrote but I did not. And so our fear is not about exams. Our fear is about feeling ashamed about, what the society would think about me. I think you need to keep that aside first. Just keep that aside. You take hundreds of examples, hundreds of them. Abraham Lincoln, everybody knows in this place. Yes? Yeah, he was born in Bangalore. Became the carpenter of Bangalore. No, but everybody knows about it. How you know about Abraham Lincoln somewhere who is there? That means the whole world knows about Abraham Lincoln. And you know how many times he's been a failure? He's been a miserable failure. His businesses flopped. His factories he flopped. He stood for elections, he failed. His personal life went for a toss. You talk anything about Abraham Lincoln has been a history of failures. Full of failures. You just go back to Google and search. Your favorite Google is there. You check it that you know. Only failures are there of Abraham Lincoln. But then what we know in history is Abraham Lincoln. Somebody else. They say that wow. That means, so what, he had a lot of failures. It did not stop him from becoming what he became. Like that beautiful saying of Thomas Alva Edison and his junior assistant. Edison was doing one experiment. Assistant came and saw what he was doing. Then after seeing that, Thomas Alva Edison is one of the greatest inventors. He's got huge amount of thousands of inventions patented to his next to his name. He was, an assistant was looking at him, okay, let's see what he's doing. He saw that he's doing some experiments. Then he saw the entire, how it has done. 1,000 experiments, and all 1,000 experiments failed. So assistant got angry, looked at Edison and he told him, Tale you have some brains, yeah, 1,000 experiments you have done and all of them failed. And that too you are doing from years. Brainless, well, and you are not telling how we do one more experiment. So why? Who wants to do one more experiment and all of them failures only, and you want to do one more experiment? He said, what do you mean? I've shown it to the world that there are 1,000 ways in which you can fail. I've explained to the world, if you do this, you will fail. If you do this, you will fail. So I've already told the world. So that means he's still seeing something positive, even in what looks like a negative. And since they did not stop anywhere, they went on to become, everybody knows who is Thomas Alva Edison today. The whole world knows about him. Failure is not something that you should be worried of. First, please remove that from your head. It doesn't matter. If there is failure, nothing is going to happen. It absolutely doesn't matter at all. Then you will be amazingly successful. Nobody will ask you after some time how many attempts. Nobody will ask. Because if somebody has to ask you on CA, everybody knows how it is. And no one will ask you how many attempts you took and what you did. So that's one part, keep it very clear in your mind. Nobody cares how many attempts you took to pass an examination. Ultimately you become a CA, that is what is important. That is one part of it. Fine. Now I will not give up, that much I understood. And I will not feel ashamed of myself to say that okay, I tried and it did not work. It doesn't matter. Trying is important and you have been putting your efforts important. Now let's come to the other side of it. Okay, how do I know that I have improved from last time to this time? Whether my approach is right or my approach is wrong. And how do I make out that is something which we need to look at. First thing that I tell you, that is, we need to have that attitude with music. Okay. Attitude with music. You need to have a good attitude. You just observe yourself and see, when you all come into the hall, I'll tell you how your attitude is. This can move, no? The camera can move, right? Camera moves? Okay, I think it moves. Okay. The way you come also, you walk into the hall, here I'm talking about right now. You walk into the hall, and when you walk in, first you will see the nearest back and you go local cover. In fact, when I walk into, not only you, everybody, including CA conferences. So we're not talking only as a student. So for me, I know I can confidently walk in the front because I know at least some chairs will be empty in the front because front will always be empty. And that will see your attitude. Attitude only is involved last time. They will adjust somewhere in the end. And that too what somewhere closest to the door. This side will be first, you see how it works. First filling up will be from last. And then it will be from this side. That side will not be located because you know that everybody are watching you lately. You are the Prime Minister. Everybody will be looking at you only. Yeah, when you're walking from there. So what's your problem? Why do you get embarrassed for that also? Walk, come, and to come in front. And some of them will tell you, come in front. No. Why do you come there? Right? I will try somewhere in the back only. I'm comfortable sitting at the back. Look at our attitude. Right? We don't want to be the leaders in front. We want somewhere, you get adjust. We will sit in the back. Why if you sit in front, somebody will scold you? Somebody will tell you something. No. Oh no sir, in movie theatres we have seen, in old traditional movie theatres, balcony is always very expensive. The Gandhi class are very cheap. So you want to go to the balcony. Stupid. That's in a movie theatre. But this is not a movie theatre, this is live performance. And for live performance, yeah, you can clap good. This is live performance. If you've attended any live concerts, let it be in palace grounds, any of those places, there are live concerts, you attended Akon programs, or Wokon. Okay? If you attended any of these programs, you will find that the first 2-3 rows are called as the VVIP class. Very expensive. 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh tickets. Balcony, 5 rupai, 10 rupai, where you can't even see what's happening there. You don't even know what it is. So that means you need to understand, you need to start thinking from being in the front. I think that's how your mind should work. Not somebody tells you, go front, go. No, just not looking. I think you need to start thinking that way first, right? And those who came and sat in the front, proud of you. The rest of you also, I'm happy with you. Okay? It's important. So change that attitude right from now, okay? From now on, change that attitude. You will be the front. Face it. You should learn to face it. Listen. It's beautiful. So I want to tell you this and then I'll come to some technical aspects of exams, okay? But first, mind if it's alright, then the rest will become alright. Okay, let's start from that one. I've said this to many of them, but I would love to repeat it again because I think it's worth it. Especially if you are writing it more than once. You have written exams and you're not done well, I think that's something you should know. Krishna and Balarama, this is a mythological story. Okay? Krishna and Balarama were in the forest because those Rishi Munis were doing some yagnas and homas, and they said, look, there's all these, those who know mythological stories, these Rakshas and all will come for attack and all some beasts because it's all in the forest area, so you need to protect us. And we are doing so that it's uninterrupted, homas and yagnas must happen. So Rama, Balarama, both of them, Krishna and Balarama, both of them are there and they are taking care of the place. Then in that night, when all of them were sleeping in the village, that is those huts where they were there. Now these both had to do the guarding of the place, that is walking from that side to this side so that no animals come and all that. So they are supposed to guard this place. Krishna always on Tarle fellow. So he told his brother Balarama, saying that, see, why both of us must be standing here? Simply both of us waste of time. We do one thing, one of us will sleep, one of us will take guard, and then when the other person feels sleepy, they will take turns. Having said that, he continued sentence, I will go and sleep. So Krishna said, I will go and sleep, Balarama, you take care. Whenever you feel sleepy, call me. Whenever you feel sleepy, call me, I will come and do the guard. Balarama said, okay. Krishna went and slept. Balarama is going from that side to this side, this side to this side, taking care of that place. And from the bushes there, he heard one noise. And he said, well, must be something. He couldn't see anything. So again, he was walking from that side to this side. Then again from the bushes, some noise came. So he went a little bit close to see what's happening there. And he saw that a very ferocious monster. He never seen such kind of a monster in his life. He saw a ferocious monster. The monster came. He got a shock because he never seen such kind of a monster in his life before. He said, wow, oh, he got a shock. The moment he got a shock, he was starting to tremble. They symbolically, physically say you start shrinking with him. You start standing like this, you start shrinking. So he started a little bit shrink, and the monster started to become a little more bigger, mythological perspective. And the monster understood that this fellow is now getting scared and gave a roar. And with the roar that monster gave, Balarama shrinked even more, and that monster became even more bigger. And became even more big. Now like this, it went on for some time. And now the monster became so big. And Balarama actually became very small, and monster gave a mighty roar. And for the mighty roar, Balarama could not take it because the monster had become really big. He could not take it and he shouted Krishna and he fell. He actually fainted. Krishna heard the sound of his brother Balarama. He thought he wants to sleep, so he has woken him up. He didn't know what is happening there. So Krishna came. When he came, he saw Balarama was sleeping. That's what he thought. That he is sleeping, but he actually fainted. Then nothing else was there, so he said, okay, before I could come home, he has slept. It's okay, then why disturb him? And he's walking from that side to this side. Same story again repeated. And there was some noise from the bushes. Again he goes and sees. And then again this ferocious monster came in front of Krishna. Krishna was like, oh, I've never seen such kind of a weird monster in my life. He said, let me have a closer look at it. And he started to go near it. Monster was surprised because people actually go back, whereas this one is coming front. He said, who is this one who is coming close to me types? The monster took one step back. And then Krishna went one step forward. This monster looked at Krishna and gave one roar. He gave one roar. The moment he gave a roar, Krishna looked at the monster and said, shh, all of them are sleeping, don't disturb. Now nobody gets such kind of a reaction to a monster. Monster said, and Krishna started to become bigger and bigger. The monster started to shrink. Monster knows that I have to give a mighty roar, and now he gave one mighty roar. Krishna gave a rock. He said that monster became even more smaller and Krishna became bigger. It happened like this. Next day morning, Balarama got up. And they both were walking back to their palace. All the Yamunas were over, they were walking back. And as they were walking back to their palace, Balarama told Krishna, Krishna, you don't know what happened yesterday. You were sleeping. At that time you don't even know what happened. Krishna asked, why, what happened? There was one ferocious monster and it gave a mighty roar, it became bigger and bigger and all that he started to explain. When both of them were walking, suddenly Krishna stopped. Said, wait, what did you say? Balarama said, what did I say? Bigger and bigger, it became so big monster. I got scared and actually fainted. Then they both stopped. Krishna said, 1 minute wait. And from his pocket, from Krishna's pocket, he removed and he said, are you talking about this? Balarama said, yeah, but when I saw yesterday night it was huge. That's when Balarama looked into the eyes of Krishna and Krishna looked into the eyes of Balarama and Krishna tells Balarama, my dear friend, and this is what I want you to understand. He said, if you avoid your fears, it will start growing on you. If you start facing your fears, it will start shrinking and you become more powerful than the fear itself. And that's exactly with all of us. Number one, we have the fear of coming and sitting in front. Number two, we have the fear of walking across and sitting that side. Number three, we have the fear of even telling that, look, I didn't do well in examinations, but it's okay, next time I'm going to improve. We have a fear for everything. And because of this fear, why most of you have the stage fear? You know stage fear? To come on the stage and to come and speak on the stage, there's a fear. And some of them are very comfortable with the podium. You know, some of them who by chance come also, because somehow they feel 75% protection. I have some kind of a safety in this situation and therefore I feel a little more comfortable times. Fear, it's basically nothing but fear. Why do you want to have that fear? And the more you avoid certain things, like I was very pleased when he was announcing, saying that what all activities are lined up for all of you. And he was telling about preparing papers, he was telling about giving some presentations, and so much Sikasep is doing. I think it's beautiful, and communication skills. Fear can be removed off if you take care of all this. You can actually take care of all this. Take these opportunities, whatever opportunities comes your way, go ahead and stand. Worst come worst, what will happen? Let us say you're asked to stand on the stage and give one speech. You went and stood. Total blank. Let's say you forgot everything. Come. You forgot everything and now you don't think that you remember anything at all. Or that you start telling whatever you wanted to tell. Absolutely different from what you had prepared for and all that. Worst come worst, what happened? Tell me. Worst come worst, what will happen? What will happen? One worst speech you will give, people will laugh. You know how you should think? The way you should think is, you should stand there and say, Papa. Yeah, they have to now suffer my inefficiencies for the next 1 hour, and that is their karma. And you should also say thank you very much because I am becoming better now. Because after the first performance of yours, next performance better. You have improved, and at their cost. Actually, their cost, you are actually improving. So why do you worry? So why do you worry about it? Face your fears. If you start facing your fears, then you will ensure, including examinations. You need to learn to face your fears. It's okay. Exams are done, it's okay. No, I don't feel like studying or some of these things. Face it. If it has to be faced, we will tell some subjects are very tough. So I don't touch that subject. Areva. If you don't touch the subject, it will become even more tougher. I don't know how much ever I try to read the subject, I don't feel this is a CA subject at all. Yeah, full some computer language and all they use there. Information technology they will tell. Some quantitative technique they will tell. And you start discussing with your friends. How is this relevant for CA, you tell me? You tell me, how is this relevant for CA? Yeah, how is this subject relevant for CA? You tell me. Who is discussing? You. With whom you are discussing? Another double fellow. You have no knowledge about what is what. And you go and discussing, I think this is not required. How can you judge what is required, what is not required? I think we are not the right people to judge all that. It is here. It is there. So I think we need to take it. This is like, this. You can come, there's lot of place in the front. If you can come, you will find it. Yeah, don't worry about it. See, from there only they start. Nobody starts from here. See, still finding there. Come, it's okay. You didn't hear my talk in the beginning. See. Now listen. First, especially those who have tried once or twice and you've not done it, these are the ideas which will come in the mind, saying that all this is not making sense at all. Why institute should have all these kinds of topics? Why institute is giving, for CA, how is it relevant? All these things will start coming, wherein you do audit on the subjects itself. Wherein you do audit on the CA institute's syllabus itself. So all that will start. So first let us understand certain things, okay, before. I went for coaching. I went for coaching for playing tennis. I want to become a good tennis player, Wimbledon. So I went for coaching. I said, I want to play Wimbledon, so Roger Federer types. I said, let us practice. Then my coach said, okay, come, let's practice. And we started practice. And I did the first serve. And he told me how it has to come. And he told me one point very clearly. When you're playing in tennis, opposite fellow is a villain. He is your villain. He is the biggest enemy. If you can beat him, that means you're going to win the match. That's how matches are played. I said, okay, he is a villain. Then they said, this is how the game is played. Okay. Then the first match started. All the practice was over and I had to play the first match. I looked at that fellow like full villain, like how these Australian players look. Yeah, I gave him a look and I said, okay, you are the villain, I'm going to beat you. Full. Stood there. First serve, I did the serve. It was an ace. Those who know Wimbledon or those who know tennis will understand what I am saying. It was an ace. What is the score? Those who know how to read the scoreboard. 15 love. It's called as 15 love. I immediately got angry. I said, I am the one who scored it, correct or not? How come love is going to him? They should love me, right? If I am the one who scored it, they should love me, right? How can it be that all the love is for him, who did not get the point, and they're telling me 15 and love. So he gets the love, and I get 15. I said, no, love also should be to me, because I am the winner here. And love is for the fellow who is losing. Okay, I said, fine, it's okay, let's try one more. And one more serve. Again, it was an ace. Now this time the score? 30 love. First it was 15 love. Now they said 30 love. I said, again love for him only. And I am scoring the match. Actually, I am getting the points. He gets the love. I said, okay, fine, forget it. So 15 love. Next, 30 love. One more serve. Again, it was an ace. 40 love. Those who played the game know it. It's called 40 love. I threw the racket. I said, I straight away went to the referee and told him, see, if you don't know mathematics, come and learn. First I got 15. Next I got 30. Next what I should get? 45. If I had given you fill in the blanks. Imagine mathematics question. Fill in the blanks. 15, 30, dash. Obviously I would have 45. Correct or not? I told him, what is this? 45 I should get. What is this 40 love? He said, no, that is how in Wimbledon, in the matches it is played, it is 40. I said, 40 and tedious, huh? Yeah, tedious for that also. It should have been 45. Where is the 5? Give me full. He said, no, that is not the game. Is if you want, you play, otherwise get lost. I said, you get lost. I don't want to play your game. What nonsense game is this? I said, I don't want to play. I came off. I will not play your game. I said, this is a double game. There is no sense of playing this game. With you telling that fellow is my winner, and all love for him only. I don't want to play this game. I came off. Then I said, let us play something which is an intelligent game. First, our country's favorite game. Our country's favorite game is cricket. He said, come, let's play cricket. Then I started, let's play cricket. I started to play cricket. When I started to play cricket, I realized most unfair game on earth is cricket. Why most unfair game on earth is cricket is because size of the stadium depends on the real estate market value of that place. That's all it is. And the population of that place. I said, how can you play a game like that? Because stand there, trying to play the game. Now if you are in Melbourne, Sydney, any of those places, and huge stadiums, with all your might and force, you hit one shot, full speed, hit one shot with all your strength. 1 run, 2 runs, that's all you get. Why? You mean the ball would have gone somewhere there only, the fellow would have fielded it, because big stadiums are there. Same thing you come and play here, Chinnaswamy Stadium. Chinnaswamy Stadium is there. Same game you play here, you just come and fellow standing there and does this. He missed actually the shot. So there was an edge, not edge. There was an edge. And the batsman, edged it. And he looked at the umpire. Umpire indicates and said, sixer. I said, edge over here, Then they said, it's already gone to the third man and gone for a 6. Because ours is a Chinnaswamy Stadium. And therefore, edge also will go for a 6. And I said, what nonsense game is this? How can you decide the size? That means, if somebody in Australia scores 25, the moment he scores 25, he has to lift the bat and say, century. Why? Because if you do proportionate, hitting a century here is as good as hitting 25 runs there. I said, I think you should tell century for that because it's unfair game. That's why it's very unfair game. I said, what nonsense, a very bad game. Then bowlers. The fellow said, okay, bowling. They said, okay, bowling started. They said, Rahul, what's that fellow? KL? Rahul, he took some wickets. I said, okay, good. Then they said, one more. That fellow took another wicket. Okay, very good. Then they said, this fellow took 4 wickets, that fellow took 2 wickets. Very good. Then they said, one more fellow took 1 wicket. I said, stop. On the field, there are only 6 wickets. 3 wickets this side, 3 wickets that way. If this fellow has taken 3, that fellow has taken 3, where is the wicket left to take? He said, no, he took the wickets means he doesn't take. Then why did he took wickets? You only told he took wickets. Then you're telling, no, he did not take. Then why did you tell he took wickets? You are next to the next game, you write wicket also. They are telling he's taking, but he's not taking it all. This is unfair game. And the English also is gone. What we learn English is all gone. They said, no, this is how you have to play the game, otherwise you get out from this game. I said, you get out. I don't want to play this game. I came out. I said, the best game to play, the most intelligent game, that is chess. Chess is the most intelligent game to play. I said, let you play chess. And I decided to play chess. And most intelligent games. I said, this is a game to play. All these are rubber games. Chess I will play. Started to play chess. Worst rules. You see chess. One camel is there, you know camel? Yes. That camel always goes cross and it never goes straight. You get cross, you go for this side go. There's a cross only it will go. This cross, that cross will go. I straight over I said somebody is here, go, no, I'll go like this only. Cross he'll go. Okay, let him go cross. I said okay, fine. I said why are you going? That's how the game is. Okay, go. I said okay, fine. Okay. I have never seen a horse in my life like that. There is one horse in chess, okay? Yeah? It comes one step and suddenly goes on this side. You were coming just now, this side, and suddenly you turn and went that side. It takes one step like this and goes on that side. It takes one step like this and goes on this side. I said, I have never seen any horse like that. Have you ever seen any horse like that? It takes one step like this and goes on that side. And then you L shape. I said, what L? How can a horse go like that? It's a meaningless. And in the game, when I started playing this game of chess, I was getting irritated with one. I said, I was telling the coach, I'm getting really irritated with one character in this entire board. He said, what? I said, I don't know. A fellow is there. Hopeless fellow in the entire board. In the entire chessboard, a hopeless fellow is there. He's called king. Hopeless means hopeless. Anybody comes, no? Sorry. That's it. Oh, okay, sorry. But okay, but clap, no, it's okay. You're allowed to clap. So that was the one to come just see. You can clap. Hopeless fellow. Only one step in day. And not if anybody comes, he goes, I'm sorry. Like typical Indian family, it is always the lady who has to do the highest work. Highest work, queen. Here also she only should go there. That's all he's doing. Said, what game? I got irritated. I told the coach, can you remove this fella and then play again? He said, no, if you remove game is over. I said, what? We are playing this entire game for one hopeless fellow. I said, I don't want to play this game. He said, this is how the game is played. If you want to play, otherwise get out. I said, you get out. I don't want to play such kind of games. Something very useful for you to learn now. Listen carefully. Whether it was a game of tennis, whether it was a game of cricket, whether it was a game of chess, in a normal entertainment games, you find the rules to be stupid and you find the rules to be illogical, but we still play the game. We are all still playing the game. Then why only when it comes to your professional courses, only when you are doing CA, you tell this is not logical, this topic is not logical, this is not making sense, or this is not right, no, I don't agree with that. Why? When it came to a game you played, no? You still played the game. You didn't question any of those stupidities of the games. You still played it. Then why are you questioning that for something which is going to change your career? You need to understand 4 points of playing any game. What are the 4 points you have to understand in playing any game? This is what is your most important aspect of today's takeaway. 4 important points of playing any game. Number 1, accept the game the way it is. So in your case, accept the CA subjects the way they are. Accept your capabilities the way it is now. Accept this is the time I have for completing my studies. Accept that this is what it is. First let us accept it. This is how the subjects are. This is how it will be. This is how we are supposed to do it. Let's first accept it. Let's first accept the game. Even if I have to play any of these games, first I have to accept the game the way it is. Having accepted the game, then what do? I start learning the rules. So same thing with here also. I start learning the rules, meaning for us, we start learning the subject. Come. So we have, so the first one, we accept the way it is. Second, we learn the rules. Third, we master the game. Now why we have to master the game? Well, that's because ultimately point number 4, I play to win. I play to win. I'll repeat again all the 4 points. 1, I should first accept the game. Second, I learn the rules. Third, I master the game. And ultimately, I play to win. And if I can relate this to all aspects of life, let's put it to our subjects also. Let's put it with our subjects. First, I have to accept the subject the way they are. This is how it is. That's a beautiful saying in Rigveda. What is, is. What is not, is not. That's what the Rigveda says. What is, is. What is not, is not. So if this is how it is, this is how it is. Hey, my life is like this. What is, is. What is not, is not. No, only if it was like that. That is not that, no. What is. What is not, is not. So let's first accept that this is how it is. Having accepted, will I go and be quiet with this? Nah. Simply accepting is not sufficient. Then comes the second point. What is that? Learn the rules. Now let's talk about our subjects also. Let's learn the way it is. First I'll accept it and I start learning it. Let me start learning the way it is. It's okay, this is how it is, but I will learn. And the way I learn, I should master the game. And only if I can master the game. No, I read this but I still did not pass. That means you have not yet mastered it. That means that is not suiting you. Try something else. If this is not suiting, try something else. No, I read this book again and again and again, still I am not getting it. That means that book is not suiting you. Probably for you that book does not suit. Then probably you have to try something else. It's okay. Try some. Ultimately, whether it is this book or that book, everybody is trying to teach you the same subject. No? Subject is not decided by me and you. Yeah. Company law. If I say Vijayaraja's company law, yeah, different from Government of India's company law, different. IPCC company law, different. BCom company law, different. Company Secretary's company law. It's not like that. Company law is company law. Whether I teach, you teach, somebody teaches, whoever gives, how does it matter? Subject is still the same only. So you didn't find it useful from one book. Okay, fine, don't go. So take one more and see, because subject is the same. If you already read from one book and you felt you did not get the effectiveness of that book, doesn't matter. You can try another book. This bat is not suiting you. That doesn't mean that you're not a good batsman. This bat is not suiting you. Then you try another bat. Maybe you require a heavier bat, or maybe you require a lighter bat. You take a bat which suits you the best, and that's how you look at it and take it and start it it. So you master the game, and of course ultimately you learn to win the game, and you play to win. And that's the whole objective why you're playing. You need to win. Having said all this, now let me come to the technical aspects of it. Let me say a few technical aspects. First, these are important for you. First thing to take care. If you have not done well in the examinations, first thing you have to do is take your papers, see your papers. In the sense, institute gives you the option of getting your papers, wherein you can apply for your papers and get back your papers, you get the soft copy, and you can see how it has been done. Or if you know some of your friends who have done very well in the exams, you tell them, I will pay the fees. You give me your papers, take their papers. How it's going to help you? You see your papers, how it has been, see their papers, how it is. You get at least some idea. Some certain things you feel that you have only done better, but still you did not get marks. And if you are not getting any answer, there is no point seeing that. So don't break your head. See where you can get answers. In the sense that, okay, I think this is where I made some mistakes. Okay, I think this is how I should have done the presentation. Somebody has passed, your friends have passed. If you have not passed, you could have easily just told them, I will pay for the fees, apply for your paper, get your paper, I want to see. And you apply for your paper also, get your paper. Why you need somebody else to tell you? You take your paper and take your friend's paper, where the person has passed and you have not passed. Just see the two papers. Have a comparison between the two papers and just see the way you wrote answers and the way that person has written the answers. You will get something from that. Maybe for this question, you still feel that you are only correct. Okay, no problem. At least overall, if you look at all the questions, you get a fair idea as to how that person has got more marks than you. That is the first thing to do. And from there, we start picking up some points. Okay. That means when I wrote the exam, I was not focusing on writing all these points, and probably that is where I missed. Oh, looks like this person has been underlining everything and I have not been doing that. Okay, looks like this person is writing everything in points, but I have not been doing that. You come to know a lot of things about your lacunas in the examination if you compare it with somebody else's paper. First thing you have to do is ensure you get those papers, and that's very useful to read. No, so now I can't apply. If you can't apply now, at least somebody would have applied it. You can somehow get it and talk to friends. Today social media is so good. You just have to keep in touch with some friends and ask in your WhatsApp here and there. Somebody will help you, and with whatever papers they have, and you can have a look at those papers and you get a fair idea how you should have done. Very important to take it. That's how you improve your game. And your game is obviously CA now, right? So that's how you improve your game. Get those papers. One. Second, when you write answers in the examination, this is something I want you to understand here. See, when corrections are done in mathematics style. What do you mean corrections are done in mathematics style? The way they ask us to correct the paper is like this. They will tell. That's how Institute does. Institute correction system is mathematics style. Even it's a theory paper. Even for a theory paper, they say corrections will be mathematics style. What do you mean mathematics style? They will say, if you have written these points, you will get for writing this point 1 mark, for writing this point 1 mark, for writing this point 1 mark, for writing this point 1 mark. So you know those 4 points, you get 4 marks. You wrote full paragraph. Beautiful. Your answer is actually beautiful. But you will not get the marks because I don't find those 4 points. One more person wrote only those 4 lines. You wrote 1 page answer and the other fellow wrote only 4 line answer. The one who wrote the 4 line answer gets 4 out of 4. You have written the full story, but you don't get any marks. They asked you to write something on, they asked you on depreciation. They asked you on, actually they asked you on AS6. AS6 is depreciation. That is what they asked. You have written, I'm telling you, you have written about Ind AS. Beautiful answer. You have written on IFRS. You have written on IFRS. You have written on US GAAP. You have also written on what Procter & Gamble case happened as far as depreciation was concerned. Because you have a fabulous practical knowledge on all of them. So you knew what happened in Procter & Gamble's case for depreciation and you wrote about it. You knew about the Ind AS, what's happening there. You knew about IFRS. You knew about the US GAAP. And you wrote all this. Actually, your answer is brilliant. Brilliant answer because you have given so much about it. But out of 5 marks, you got 1 mark. Yours is a brilliant answer. One more fellow does not know any of these things. US GAAP also does not know. He does not know what happened in Procter & Gamble case of degree. Nothing he knows. He only knows AS6 has these 5 points. And he wrote those 5 points. That's all he wrote. And he got all the marks. So you need to understand, here the valuation is not based on how intelligent you are. So just because you failed doesn't mean you're not intelligent. I want you to understand that. You failed doesn't mean you're not intelligent. It only means that you did not write what I wanted. That's all it means. I wanted those 5 points, you did not write those 5 points. And that is what I'm asking you to do. Find out what are those points you're supposed to write. Like for example, taxation. Now in taxation, they all look like a practical paper. In the sense, if I ask you to find out total incomes, find out the deductions which are eligible and all, that looks like a practical question where you have to quantify and tell me what's the income and what is the deductions and so on. But you should know, perfect answer students will write. Perfect answer, 8 marks question, perfect answer, exactly tally. The total income, tax calculations, deductions, perfectly tallied. Perfectly tallied. Still, you will get only 4. You never got 8 marks. Perfect answer, still only 4. Now what happened to the remaining 4? Because you did not put the notes. Because remaining 4 marks was for the notes. You should have told this item is inadmissible, therefore was not taken in calculating profits. This item is admissible. This you should have told. So if they have given you those points in the question paper, they expected you to write. And unfortunately in corrections, see, you have done correctly only. What was admissible, you have done admissible. What was inadmissible, you have done correctly only, you have done. You have done all that. But you have not explained to me at the end, telling that these items are admissible, that is why nothing was done. That's why you got added back, because it was already admissible. These items are inadmissible. You should have written those points. They would have told you, okay, I have done investments here, here, here. And you know out of the 4 investments, only 3 are supposed to be taken. 1 was not eligible for ATC. You did correctly. You did the correct calculations. You have written also correctly. So what you were not supposed to take, you did not take. But still you not get a 1 mark because you did not write as to what you did not take. So they expect you to write there, saying that this particular investment is not eligible for ATC, therefore not taken in ATC computation. You should have written that and you would have got 1 mark for writing that point. And this is what I said. I wanted to see maybe somewhere small errors you made here and there. Chota errors. Check your marks and see. Not that you have lost everything by a huge margin if you take 1 subject. If you take 1 subject and see the averaging value you lost, you have only lost it by some 10 marks here and there per subject, which actually aggregates to 40 marks total. But still, it's only a question of some 10 marks here and there, which means in every question, if you had improved by little percentage, you would have got that 1 mark extra. That means another 8 questions you have answered, 10 questions you have answered, you actually got those 10 marks extra. 1 mark in each question if you have improved, and you have already answered around 15 questions, because you got lots of questions, 1A, 1B, 1C in all your papers, which means of 15-20 questions you have answered. 1 mark in each means you actually got 15 marks extra, and for 4 papers if you see, you only got 60 marks extra. So don't look at it as to how many marks you lost. Look at it with the fact that you just have to improve by 1 mark. You just have to improve by 1 mark, and you improve it at 1 mark, you have already reached that 40, 50, 60 extra for the entire. When Dennis Dilly retired, from cricket. The entire team, Dennis Lillee belongs to which team? Australian team. When he retired, Dennis Lillee was like the boss of the entire team. And he plays, you know, they'll win, kind of. And when Dennis Lillee retired, the whole team felt, now we don't have a good player like him who can give us match winning. And the coach made only one statement. He said, correct, Dennis Lillee is not there. All of you just spend your energies of giving me 10% extra in your performance. Just give me 10% extra. We have 11 players. We have 110% extra. That means you have already replaced one player. And I only expect you to perform 10% more. Same thing with all our answers also. Little bit improvement in your answer by 1 mark only. That's all you expect to do. 1 mark improvement in your answers. You are only there with 60 marks extra. Because you are talking about so many answers to write. And you only got so many marks. And just identify where is that one. Maybe the grip is not okay times. Just find out where you have to improve that little bit. Identify that. And that is very subjective. I can only tell you a few hints. What is the first hint I can give you? Presentation style. Don't write stories. These are a few hints where you can improve by that 1 mark. Number 1, don't write stories. Ensure it should be in point form. Second, wherever you are solving any practical topics, ensure you write those notes. Looks like a practical paper, but you have to write enough of notes. That is either the footnote or a endnote explaining about why you took it or why you did not. Take it into consideration in whatever you are solving. Very important to write that. Wherever possible, if you can underline the important aspects. Very important to do that. And how do you learn all these things? For all theory papers, you have to ensure your notes is made into only some 30% notes. What do you mean 30% notes? Or 20% notes? What do you mean by 20% notes? If you have a 200 pages book and you have read the full 200 pages book, you should have converted that into 20 pages. You should have converted it into 40 pages. That's all is what you should read 1 day before the examination. Then for all practical questions, what do I do? I'll identify only some 2 questions for each chapter and ensure I write those 2 questions under examination conditions from 2 to 5. You know why I should write it from 2 to 5? Because our exam timings is from 2 to 5. And ensure you write it from 2 to 5. Are you understanding what I'm telling? Right? Because your exam is from 2 to 5. Every day you practice writing it from 2 to 5. You identify 2 questions, 2 questions, 2 questions and write it from 2 to 5. Ours is a biological clock. We get used to a particular thing. We eat at one particular time, we sleep at one particular time, exam also is at one particular time. And therefore, you practice your body and mind to get used to writing 2 to 5. Otherwise, last 15 days you have simply slept and slept between 2 to 5. Because early morning you read, late night you read, 2 to 5 already there. Nice sleep, you are doing full batting. Nicely eaten also. 2 to 5 you have to ensure you follow it as a policy. 2 to 5 you will not eat, especially last 60 days of examination. You will not eat anything because in examination you will not come there to eat. Correct or not? So therefore 2 to 5 you will not eat. So that's a practice. Your body should know 2 to 5 you are not going to eat. And 2 to 5 always answer some questions. Let it be theory questions or practical questions. You have to sit and answer 2 to 5 only. Clear with this? Write those head notes and footnotes. Everything should be in point form only. 100 marks attempting is a must. Whether you like it or not, you have to attempt for 100 marks. 100 marks. So therefore start timing when you write. What do you mean timing when you write? In your 2 to 5 when you write at home, do it under examination conditions. For this question I will not take more than 8 minutes. I will not take more than 5 minutes. Make the timings so that you will not miss out in the exam hall of writing full 100 marks. If you are not writing full 100 marks, don't expect. Saying that I missed 5 marks, 10 marks, you will miss only. Only if you write 100 marks, with that only there is a difficulty. That also if you miss, what do you expect? And therefore it has to be 100 marks covered compulsory. Clear with that also? All of you?
Yes.
Super. If you can take care of these small aspects, first 15 minutes of your paper before the actual exam starts, there will be 15 minutes extra time. Starting, superb timings. Identify your best questions. Yes, so many questions are there. There will be some best questions. You know what I mean by best questions, which you always know. 1A, 1B, 1C, 2A, 2B, 2C, 3A, 3B, 3C. That means you have got 21 questions. 21 questions. And don't tell me after all these preparations you can't answer even 12 questions or 15 questions. 21 questions are there. Identify your best 12 questions. The moment you identify your best 12 questions, out of 24 I'm telling, 21 questions, 24 questions, you have 21 questions you identify, 50% shoulder, 50% pakad, only half. Identify the best, that's your first 15 minutes. Best questions identify, you have already passed. How you already passed? Because first 12, those 12 if you have identified. But you know how our mind works? No. My mind is not working out what all answers I know. My mind is only working out which I don't know. Oh, this I forgot to study only. Oh, this I wanted to revise in the last year. I realized I forgot. Who is asking you to look into all those aspects? Don't see those aspects which is not. Why are you hiding your head in the exam hall? See, this I wanted to study, actually I missed it. Last study I thought I revised today. And why are you saying that now in the exam hall? Sure. You didn't revise, no, I didn't revise. Leave. Now you identify those 12 which you know. 12 if you know 5 marks, if it was there, then 12 into 5 you already got 60. 40 marks you did not know. To hell with those 40 marks, how does it matter? You got by 60. With that confidence, if you start writing, you know what's going to happen? By the time you complete those 12, in the first 1.5 hours, your confidence comes back. Because you know you only passed. You know you only got your 40, 50, 60 marks. Now the way the confidence comes back, then those floodgates will open. Because all this is like, damn, care is there. In the exam hall, all closed. Water not coming. What neighboring state is asking? No, my state only not coming. Water is not coming there. Right? Only when you come out of the examination hall, floodgates will open. Full flow. Aha, you know all answers. No. No, you know all answers. I am expecting the floodgates to open in the exam hall. And how can that happen? If you start understanding that I know 12 questions, I can answer them. No, but I don't know this, I don't know that. To hell with that. I will only identify what I know and not spoil my head about what I don't know. And once I start doing that, okay, I already have identified all these things. And then in the exam hall, once I know I've already got my 40, before starting the exam, I'm telling you. In the 15 minutes, you know your 40 marks is there. Then you know once your confidence comes, that floodgates will open. Yes, and what next neighboring state? We'll send it to the ocean also. Excess water. Right? We'll send to the ocean also. And therefore, you're putting enough. Because you know you've studied. Come on, you have studied. You're not gone to the exam just like that. You have studied and gone. The only problem is they're all blocked. And allow the blockage to open up. Use that first 15 minutes to open up the floodgates. The 15 minutes you feel, yeah, I already know all these topics and therefore I can do it. That confidence is later. I think you understood this also. Yes, and ensure that your first 15 minutes you don't compromise. Ensure 2 to 5, I hope you're making note of this. 2 to 5 every day of your practice. What we'll do is we'll have a prayer. We'll quickly have a prayer. This alarm is for my prayer. So I want you to just close your eyes. Be seated where you are seated. Close your eyes. Now that we have learned so much, let's have a prayer. Close your eyes, please. A universal prayer. I want you to pray to your favorite God. Close your eyes. Pray to your favorite God. Pray to your parents. Pray to your Guru. After the prayer, continue maintaining 1 minute of silence and open your eyes when I ask you to open your eyes.
You are my source. very, very gently. Please open your eyes.
So to conclude the last part of it, I think I told you all the points what you should take care. Ensure that after the examinations you don't discuss the papers with anyone. You still have some more papers to write. You have the next day paper, next day paper, next day paper. So don't sit and discuss about this paper and spoil your head about it. Because you will go and ask your friend, what is the correct answer? As if your friend is Guru Brahma Vishnu Maheshwara. And as if he will know what is the correct answer. He will tell you something and you have written something else. You already spoiled your mind for the next paper. And you are not prepared for writing the next paper at all. That should not happen. So don't discuss any of these things when the exams are going on. Ensure you focus on your examinations. Once one paper is over, focus on the next paper. Don't think too much about the previous paper. Because if you see many of them, they'll write one paper and they'll not come for the next paper at all. And when results come, they will actually pass the first paper. Because they would have thought they have failed. Therefore, they will not come for the next paper. But I always tell them, you are not correcting your paper. No, somebody else is correcting. So how can you decide? They'll tell, no sir, even if I correct my own paper, I will not pass. I tell them, correct it, but you are not correcting now. Somebody else only is correcting. So how do you know? When you are evaluating so many papers, among all papers are, let us say, you had written the paper and you felt yours is the worst paper. Imagine. So I am telling you correct, your paper was the worst paper. But for the examiner, your paper is the worst paper. Rest of them are the worst test papers. And you will actually find that you passed. Because among the worst test papers, your paper was worst seems good. Do you understand something? Because you understand one more aspect. You prepared and went for the exam hall. Like that those who came to the exam hall also prepared only and came. Your intelligence level, those who came also same intelligence level. They all came and wrote the exam. It was tough for you, it was tough for them also. That means it was tough for everybody. And all of them are sailing in the same boat. And institute has never such kind of option saying that we will fail everybody. Nobody has such kind of intentions. So in fact they will be thinking other way around. Somehow you want to pass somebody. If all of them have done bad, because the paper was bad, nobody did well, they will be only thinking how to pass somebody. And therefore they will ensure that at least among the worstest papers, the worst paper at least is good. And they will pass. So therefore you don't lose your confidence. If it was tough for you, it was tough for everybody. The paper was not that tough for you only. Focus on the next paper because this paper is already over. And you give it your best. And then you will ensure that you have been successful. Never give up at any moment. Never give up at any moment. Especially when writing in the exam hall. When you are writing in the exam hall, don't give up. What do you mean by writing in the exam hall, don't give up? You are writing, you started somewhere, you felt after one paper, one question you answered, two questions you answered, I think it's gone. I think it's already gone. That feeling should never come. Because if you have already lost hopes on yourself, then there's nothing anybody can help you anymore. And I see a lot of these people who we always see that they're not big match players. What is this big match players? You will be good until you reach there. There you somehow shrink. And that should never happen. You should be a big match player. Focus and see how you did before. Somewhere I think when you're writing you should not give up. And the giving up should never come in those areas. You will never do that. And in the entire examination duration for the next paper, leave this paper over there, go to the next paper now, again focus on the next paper. No giving up concept at any point of time. Even now when studying, some of you will start feel like giving up. Okay, I am not prepared. I think I have to read some more. No giving up. You will give your best. Does not matter. Pass and fail is not in my hands. It's okay. Doesn't matter at all. You will give your best again. Try for one more. Clear on this. And you will not give up at any point of time. And you know, there's always a beautiful saying. Only when you gave up, you came to know that that was only one step away from success. Probably, that was just one step away from your success. And then, most importantly, now we will have the next speaker. Now we will have Madhukar who will be speaking. Now he is from Delhi as far as the administration of ICA is concerned. Now he can tell you about some more aspects of it. But don't forget to send in mail. So please tell them about sending a mail about wherein they write the examinations and you feel that there is a different answer you can actually give. And there's two ways of looking at it, especially in final. In CA, in final, especially when you talk about strategic financial management and all this thing, and you'll find a lot of two different answers can be given, three different answers can be given, decision making can be different, and you feel something like that is that you're allowed to write to the institute, saying that there are two ways of answering this and so on, and they will look into all those aspects. They will not. So just find out that, and you ensure you always respond to the institute. The institute must know what you went through when you wrote your examinations and what you felt could have been a different answer for all your answers. So he will tell you about that. Make note of it. Yes, that will be useful for you, so that you can always respond to the institute, and they will take into consideration after your exams, especially after your examinations. Don't miss that. Yes, all of you to write to institute, don't forget. And he'll tell you the, I think exams at ICO.org, something is that, he'll tell you about that. Ensure you always write back. Write back means not that, I will send my address, give me, not like that. You want to write back making sense. Make some sense in what you wrote. And when you have seen the paper, you have to make it technically, give your view on it, saying that this is the way in which it can be looked like. Alternative answer is that this can be looked like this. So with little more efforts as to why you're telling what you're telling. And that is useful. That's very useful. It will add your marks. In the sense that not just you, it's for everybody. Correct? And leave all those notions. See, when paper correctors are correcting the paper, nobody knows whose paper it is. It all gets mixed up from everywhere, and everywhere it comes. And therefore corrections are done. It's not that this area, separate preference, that area, separate preference. There's nothing like that. If I'm right, it's all mixed up. It's all India mixed, and therefore it's not that if you write, you only feel Vastu problem, maybe it's there. If I write from that place, the Vastu is better. Actually, I've seen people from there, they pass. Maybe if I from here, there's nothing, there's no Vastu there. So therefore everything is mixed. Ultimately everything gets mixed up. Read the instructions correctly. The first page has full of instructions. Read that instruction. Don't write roll number wherever you want. No, for safety, wrote extra places. Nobody will correct your paper again. So where it has to be written, only there you write, because it will be torn off. Those who have written it know it. That part will be torn off, and then coding is done, so that the one who corrects does not know who it is. And therefore you don't do some stupidities. Read the entire instructions clearly. Instructions are very clear. So spend a little bit of 2 minutes extra reading those instructions, so that you don't miss out. And do those markings correctly. Which all you have answered, which you have not answered. Because you have not even marked correctly as to which you have answered, which you have not answered. So certain things are mandatory while doing the answer. So stupidities don't do. Because I have seen some students who have done a lot of stupidities. You were supposed to fill up certain things and you didn't fill up it up. When you write your numbers, you are supposed to do some marking, you have not done that marking correctly. You are supposed to write there what all you have done. So those small things take care. Starting a new question in a new page. Putting the correct question numbers. Small mistakes. Just take care you don't make those small mistakes. Because I know so many of you here would have missed, I'm sure. So many of you here are those who have missed your results by 5 marks, 6 marks, 8 marks per subject. If you take an average, you would have just missed it by 5 marks, 8 marks. And probably the 5 marks, 8 marks is some small stupidity you did here and there. And just take care of the small stupidities. I think I've already taken care of it. Done? Super. I wish you all the very best. And of course, we all prayed together, so I'm sure you will do well. And I'm sure this time you will come out with flying colors. And you should be the one who should be now next on the stage, explaining as to how to pass the examinations for the rest of them. And that's the attitude. And next time onwards, friend, attitude is you'll face your fears and not avoid your fears. If you face your fears, then it will shrink. Fears will shrink. If you avoid your fears, fears will only grow on you. I wish you all the very best. Love you all. Have a fabulous 2017 and see you as professionals as soon as possible. All the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the inspiring words. You surely use all of your tips for the exams. I now request B.T. Shetty, sir, to escort CA, Madhukar and Hiregange. Okay, we shall now break for tea. Okay, I request B.T. Shetty, sir, to present the memento to Puja Rajasthan.